Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. I am riding this motorcycle, the Pulsar 220, a legendary motorcycle, an icon, a motorcycle which actually revolutionized the Indian motorcycling scene. Whatever motorcycle you ride right now, if it's a single cylinder that is, you have to thank the Pulsar for changing the market dynamics completely when it was launched in 2001. This of course is the 220, which happens to be the motorcycle which was launched in 2007 as an FI. Then came the car version known as the 220F, which was launched in 2008, and then came a 220S which did not have this fairing, but it was discontinued after some time. This motorcycle is an absolute legend. It has returned from Bhutan and I'm having the privilege of riding it. Straight away, let me tell you, it got a projector headlight setup which was so unique. LED indicators are aftermarket, but there is so much heritage in this motorcycle. First and foremost, the design. Oh sorry, I have to drop the key. The design is really very nice because it got this semi fairing and it looks really bulbous and looks like a bigger motorcycle than it actually is. Build quality might not be the best, but Bajaj has done a lot over the years to improve this machine. Now aftermarket crash guard, aftermarket auxiliary lights, and all these work, which I'm going to show you in a bit. The exhaust is big and bulky. It also gets panniers. Now this one opens, but it has been clipped on right now so it doesn't rattle. Twin shocks, nitrous shocks, and MRF tires on this machine. The exhaust is like really very long. The seat is split, very comfortable. Split grab rails which have been removed on this motorcycle because it gets a top box case, or rather it gets a top box mount to put a top box case, and the traditional Pulsar LED lights, twin of those right there. White tires, regular swing arm, but it gets a rear disc, which at that time was really very unique. In fact, when this motorcycle was launched, it had many segment firsts, like self-cancelling indicators, backlit switches. This is a 15-liter fuel tank. I mean, none of that sort was available back in those days. Let me turn it on. There you see it does a full swipe up. The analog digital cluster, it gets all the information you would ever need except a clock which is missing. So digital speedometer which has a lot of speedo error, a digital fuel meter, twin trip meters, as well as an odometer. This is the analog tachometer. There's a shift light, telltale lights placed right here. It has self-cancelling indicators. Do you know that? Self-cancelling indicators, these are the buttons for the auxiliary lights. These are for the hazard lights. Let me show them to you right away. So this is the auxiliary light. The one there isn't working for some reason. Meanwhile, these are the lights which are used for hazard situations. Pilot lights placed right there. Let's turn on the motorcycle right away. Now this engine kill switch is the other side. Usually that is not the case on motorcycles. The motorcycle turns on very smoothly. This is the projector setup of this machine, and the lower light is not working right now. But as you can see, this motorcycle still has a lot of presence, a lot of accessories, including a bigger windscreen, a GoPro mount too. Let's quickly get on the motorcycle right away. Yes, it gets a main stand. It also gets a side stand. Now right here you can see steel braided line. Well, it doesn't get steel braided lines because you see the brake line is the regular one. However, it gets an extra clutch. Now of course all these were added later so that this motorcycle could smoothly go all the way to Bhutan. F-pace. Anyways, yeah, that rhymed. And off we are. Red lines all the way till 11,000 RPM, but in the top end there's so many vibrations. I can feel the vibrations on the pegs, I can feel it on the handlebar, I can feel it on the seat as well. My ass is vibrating. That's the level of vibrations on offer. The fairing is rattling. Yes, this motorcycle doesn't love to be taken in the red line. Now this is a 2013 model, so don't expect it to be as smooth, and lack of refinement can be blamed to this being an older motorcycle, because over the years Bajaj has really worked on the refinement of the Pulsar 220, improved it drastically, and the latest BS4 model, which by the way also gets a single channel ABS unit, is way more refined than this particular machine. But the latest Pulsar 220 doesn't have the soul of the one I'm riding right now. This motorcycle actually feels like you're riding something special because it feels heavy in the way the motor pulls. It gives you a sense of feel. It's like the G63 AMG of motorcycles. Oh my god, did I just say that? Because this motor just pulls effortlessly. There's so much torque on offer. Lower down any gear, any speed, open the throttle and it will just relentlessly pull. That's the level of performance and torque on offer. Lower down. So this isn't a motorcycle you have to rev the nuts out to go ahead quickly. You can just slot it in any gear you like, open throttle and it will just take off. That is what is really very impressive about the Pulsar, and the low end performance is one of the major reasons why people are so much loving the Pulsar 220. It is just terrific in the low end. The motor also sounds really very nice. I mean, it's not refined but it's throaty, and that brings it a character which is missing on the latest generation of the Pulsars. I love how the engine is so freaking loud and so freaking soulful. I'll tell you a stupid story. I mean, I kind of feel embarrassed talking about it. When I did not have a two-wheeler license, when I was not riding a motorcycle, I used to go to Bajaj Pro biking showroom, yes, and they had these bikes on test ride on a dynometer. I used to sit there, open the motorcycle, go to top speed and have so much fun. It was like the best day of my life whenever I used to go to Bajaj Pro biking just to test ride the motorcycle on a dyno. And oh my lord, those days were golden. Now obviously Bajaj Pro biking has now turned into KTM stores. However, the Pulsar's charm is still unhindered. There's so much grunt on offer. What really made the Pulsar 220 really very popular was the fact that they did this advertisement, the fastest Indian. It became the fastest Indian motorcycle, doing a top speed of around 144 kilometers per hour on the meter. In fact, it would do 150 as well. Lot of speed error on offer. The real top speed is around 131 kilometers per hour as per the VBox test we have done at Motorbeam. It gets self-cancelling indicators as well. How cool is that? The ride is really very brilliant. It's very smooth, and you know, it gobbles up the worst of roads because the suspension is on the softer side. In fact, the ride is so good, I jumped on a speed breaker, I didn't feel anything. The speed breaker felt the punch of the Pulsar 220. The brakes could have done with the better stopping power though. Yeah, they don't offer the best bite, and because of the soft suspension there's a slight amount of nosedive as well. The gearbox also isn't very smooth, although the clutch is on the lighter side on this motorcycle. Here we are revving the motor and off we go. The sound is really very good, but it feels extremely stressed near the red line. I mean, this motor has low end punch, it has got mid-range as well. Top end isn't that great, but you can see power delivery is linear. There is something for someone in every RPM band. That's how good it is. Yes, wind blast is obviously there. The gearbox could have been slicker with shifts, but the way this machine pulls and makes a lot of noise at almost every speed is what makes it so spectacular. Great performance. Fuel economy is around 35 to 40 kilometers per liter. Meanwhile, the fuel tank is a large 15 liters on offer as well. The mirrors are absolutely useless. Firstly, they're small, and secondly, they keep vibrating so much. All you can see is nothing actually. You also get clip-on bars here, and handling is not that great because suspension is soft and the main stand scrubs over bad speed breaker, especially if you have a pillion on. But the pillion is also very comfortable. The rider is supremely comfortable. Seating is upright, and this is a motorcycle which is comfortable both for short as well as tall riders, because that is the level of comfort on offer. High speed, it remains stable, but yes, the softness can be felt. It is very vocal, and that is something which people actually love about the Pulsar. Vibes, yeah, too much vibes. But hey, this is the old Pulsar. The new one is way better. In spite of weighing more than 150 kgs, you can't really feel the weight of the 220. I mean, if you compare it to newer motorcycles, yes. And this motor is a 220cc unit, which is oil cooled, which produces around 21 PS of power and 18.5 Newton meters of torque. Over the years, a massive amount of revisions have come to this motorcycle. It has got more power than it has dropped power. It has improved in refinement, laser edge colors, single channel ABS and whatnot. So Bajaj has been continuously improving the Pulsar 220, and as they say, there is no replacement for displacement. Now, why are people still buying this motorcycle when the Pulsar NS200 is way better? Firstly, the pricing is kind of value for money because this motorcycle comes at a price of 1.2 lakhs. And because the mirrors vibrate and are useless, most people decide to fold them anyways because it helps in two things. One is aerodynamic efficiency and secondly, because of they are of no use, what is the point of keeping them open any which ways? Yeah, probably remove them for better weight reduction or weight management. As you can see, performance is great, and that is one of the reasons why the Pulsar 220 is such a popular motorcycle. Well, the newer motorcycles might be better in many ways, but the 220 has a soul, and that is the reason why it refuses to be discontinued. So guys, this is my video of the Pulsar 220. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up, that's a like button, and also subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys in the next video, probably with another old motorcycle review. And boy oh boy, old memories rekindled. I actually learned riding on a Pulsar. That was the 150, I think, UG2. Bye bye.